Hey. I think I'll just call it quits to that because I have no idea where that tune. Well, I know where it starts, but I don't know where it stops. Right? Um, that Rob, as you might know, you recognize that tune, Rob? Okay, that is a tune from Ron Malcolm, I believe, and so I thought I'd just chuck that in there. I'm still uh, running through all the little bits and pieces of little bits of audio files and stuff like that that are in the back office here, just seeing what's there and seeing what we can use. So that's what I believe it is, Rob. So just in case if you're looking for it, it's there. It's in the back office there. Just what's it called? What's it called? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Private Club by Ron. Private Club by Ron. So I'll just take a little moment just to run through the chat and see who's here. Let's see if we've got any sick notes from anybody. You know, the usual. Hi, Regina. That was you, and I spotted you there earlier on. You're going to bed early. Well, you know, it's very, very important to get that beauty sleep in, you know. There's no point being up at this ungodly hour with us mad bunch of cunts, right? Absolutely no point at all. How you doing, Rob? Mascara, buddy. How you doing? Paula. Hey, thanks for the email, by the way. And thanks for the email with the email insert. I still haven't acted on that yet. In fact, I nearly deleted it earlier on. I don't know what happened. I knew straight away that the email was a very important email because I do want to make contacts with that particular individual. So much appreciated. And all of a sudden, the email was gone, and it took me about half an hour to find it in my bloody trash bin, whatever happened. I eventually done a little search. For for Paula, and there it was. So That's the way it goes sometimes. And for a moment, like my conspiracy head was taking over. Says, "Shit, did I delete that, or did the powers that be delete that?" It's like, oh, the fucking powers that be, the cunts, man, they're everywhere, you know. But anyway, much appreciated, Paula. How you doing, Joey? Jenny, how you doing, bro? Are you well? Thanks, that's very kind, Paul. I've got a little bit of a rose to my face tonight. I don't know how that happened. Um, I clicked on something, and next thing you know, I turned red, but it was just before the show started, so I couldn't correct it. So I'll take the little rosy look tonight. Hopefully it doesn't make me look too much like like a whiskey addict. I'm not really that much of a whiskey addict. So I shouldn't be that red. Jerry was just watching JFK to 9/11, Jason in mind. Interesting. I'm kind of all 9/11 out, although I was reviewing some interesting stuff during the week, Jerry. Kind of related to 9/11. I'm going to play a bit of it in a little while because it relates back to some information which I found many, many years ago, and it took me years to find the source. But I'll do it in a while. I have a short video to play on it, and you might find it interesting, actually, because 9/11 was predicted by a lot of people well in advance. Lots of people predicted 9/11. We knew it was coming, although it just goes to show you, all the prophets that are out there, you don't pass any heat on them, but it only really hits you, when the event happens, and then you can say, oh, shit, that's what they were trying to tell us about, even though they may not have been sort of predicting 9/11, but we knew there was an event like that on the way. It was mad days. These are mad times we live in. I'm convinced people are psychic. People do pick up on this shit. And it's out there for prosperity. Loads of people picked up on the 9/11 event well before it happened. Remote viewers, even crazy people who make bots and stuff like that, studying studying language on the internet is the craziest people ever picked up on that long before it happened. So I have been doing a little bit of my own little research on 9/11 last couple of days, but not on that level, because look, I think we all know who was behind it. The truth of the matter is, it's not time for the truth just yet, for whatever reason. How you doing, Blue Sky? Rick, how you doing, bro? Welcome. Thanks for joining in. Timothy McPherson is in the house. How you doing, Uni? Hope you're well, bro. And I'm kind of up to date. 19 in the house by the looks of it here. So anyway, it doesn't matter. So what an interesting day we've had, with all the events going on in Israel at the moment. It's woke up this morning, and it was my fucking Telegram feed just blew up. What the fuck happened? Jimmy, you're not supposed to fucking sleep at crucial fucking times in the night. Why did you fall asleep last night? You missed all this shit. So I woke up to this morning, all this fucking drama, right? All this fucking drama. Israel invaded, and by God, yeah, they were invaded, but who couldn't see that coming? Who couldn't see that coming, right? It's the bigger fucking question is, how come Israel didn't see it coming, right? That's the only question that's on my mind. They have one of the most sophisticated security setups on the globe, right? On the whole globe. And they didn't see it coming. Are you taking the piss out of me, right? Are you taking you didn't see this coming? You know, don't fucking hit me with that bullshit. Like, I might be Irish, but I wasn't born under a fucking cabbage, right? You know, another distraction, Rob. I don't know. No, I don't think this is a distraction. No, no. I think there's something deeper going on here. This is well cooked into the pie at this stage. I've been expecting this for some time. I have to be honest. I've known this is coming. I've known this is coming for some time. Um, this is going to be the flashpoint. Flashpoint is going to be Israel. That's where I think World War III will officially start. Even though we're well into it right now, it's like we've been seeing a lot of minor skirmishes. Like I think global skirmishes. Like we have Ukraine ongoing. We've got turmoil in Africa. Um, Armenia, Azerbaijan, just so many flashpoints, but they're all related. I think they're all related. Absolutely, they're all related. Um, there was some interesting conversations going on in the Telegram this week, and I was fascinated by it because it's kind of like little topics that I kind of have been on my radar for many, many years. Many, many years, and the one of the main ones I think was the discussion on Albert Pike and his writings, which date back to what was it, 1880, I think it was, where he predicted World War One and World War Two, and he predicted World War Three. So I suppose the conversation was going something like this: if this dude predicted the first two world wars, what's the chance? Well, actually, I don't think we got into the World War One, World War Two, but at the end of the day, Pike did write about World War One, World War Two, and he wrote about World War Three. He described exactly how they were going to happen. World War One transpired exactly as Pike wrote. World War Two transpired exactly as Pike wrote, and so would anybody be willing to put money that World War Three won't happen exactly as he wrote? I think it will. I think it'd be a safe bet to make that he will. You probably wouldn't get good odds on it. Like you probably get crappy odds. Like because I would imagine it's pretty much a certainty. Like especially with for people who are familiar with the topics and understand like the history, I suppose, the history and how things transpire and how nothing happens by accident. Like this incident in Israel is it. How you doing, baby? Yeah, baby. Just 100%. What happened this morning in Israel? They would have known about it. Like that is just unfathomable that they wouldn't have known that this was going to go fucking down. They Israel run the security apparatus of the whole goddamn globe. Uh, I might have a story as well too, which links back to England as well too. A bit of a hoo-ha going on in England about Israel and security. I might see if I can tie that in at some stage tonight. But this has been coming up in the last few weeks, like about how Israel are so integrated into the global security apparatus, and how they have all your data. Everybody, they have everybody's data. But like I've been talking about this before anyway. It's like this is kind of like fucking news. Like, but it was just interesting there a couple of weeks ago just to see it sort of like just spill out onto the interzones in such a public way, and who was talking about it first? Who was actually talking about it first? Well, Brendan O'Connell springs to fucking mind. He was probably one of the only ones talking about it when nobody else would, like about how Israel had secured all the back doors into everybody's computers. So that's how they're able to do all this security stuff. Like they don't need to hack anybody's computer. they just have the back doors into everybody's phones, computers. In fact, they don't need to hack the internet. They just have the back doors. That's just the way it is. It's all built into the chips. It's you've got a chip within a chip, which is in on everybody's phone, on everybody's computer. I hope at some stage that they might be able to get rid of that bullshit, find a way around it. But at the moment, like there doesn't seem to be any solid way to bypass all these back doors at the moment. But from what I gathered, the U.S. military may have a deal where none of those back doors are on their system. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. How you doing, Mahatma? So Mahatma saying there is no evidence Pike wrote that document. It could have been written by Leo Taxil, for all we know. Well, I had no idea who Leo Taxil is, but granted, right? I'll take on board what you're saying there because it turns out Shakespeare may not have written all those grand, glorious novels after all. It could have been Francis Bacon, right? So, I'll take on board what you're saying there, brother. I wouldn't discount what you're saying at all. Like, I mean, what are the chances? Like, what are the chances William Shakespeare was just some pleb who was sort of like elevated and handed the actual writings, the Masonic writings, which would usher in the new age that we're seeing, sort of like form before our very eyes, right here now in these times. So yeah, no, I'm open to that possibility, Mahatma. Definitely, you know. But there is no doubt he was a fairly high up Mason. So I think the possibility that it was his documents, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to prove yay or nay. It's one of those things. James, is James in the house? How you doing, James? Intel inside, James. Absolutely, brother. There's an Intel inside your Intel, right? And this is how it works. This is how it works. They don't need to fucking hack your system anymore. They have a chip inside which does the fucking job for them. So, no hacking required. That article that was brought out a couple of weeks ago, I think it was on presstv.ir. It was through an Iranian website, doing an interview with some English researcher and stuff on the topic, and they were making it out that Israel had such great hackers. It's just no, they don't have great fucking hackers. They just own the back door. That's all. No great hackers. The great hackers are probably all, probably nearly dead now at this stage. The great hackers go back to the 90s, late 80s, 90s, the phone freakers and all those crowd. The guys who sort of led the front on sort of like finding all the little nuances into the technology which has been offered. Like they cracked the phone systems, figured out all the codes, they social engineered all the shit. That was ordinary fucking people, man, just fucking around, but like Julian Assange, his career, he started off, he's no fucking journalist, right? He was a fucking hardcore hacker, right? Julian Assange, I know they tried to portray him as a journalist. No, he was a hacker, right? And a very good one, very, very fucking good one. But he got caught up in a right little, he got caught up in a right little fucking den of thieves. I think his buddy Pengo, I think it was Pengo. And if you go searching online for information about Pengo, you can't find it. It's almost like the internet has been scrubbed of the existence of Pengo and a connection between Pengo and Julian Assange. Pengo was allegedly, he was German, right? And his body was found burned and shot in the back of the head and burned in a forest in Germany. But he was connected into Russian, there wouldn't have been GRU at the time, but KGB. I think KGB at the fucking time. And Pengo and Julian, the boy, would have been very, very close friends. They were part of a team of hackers which were hacking all the major universities, all the major governmental agencies. They even hacked NASA. They done all sorts of crazy shit when they were kids. It was so bad. It got so fucking bad. Julian Assange, back when he was 15 years old, he was banned from going near a computer. He wasn't allowed to go anywhere near a computer. He was just running amok on the internet, right? And when they eventually caught up with him, because back then, the police enforcement agencies didn't know much about computers because it was just an emerging technology. Nobody had a fucking clue about how any of it fucking worked. So these kids, right, your Julians and yourself, they were so far ahead of the police and all that. Like, there, there wasn't a hope that, but eventually the police figured out how they were going to fucking catch up with the technology and figured out how to catch the little cunts, right? They knew that there was attacks happening, right, and they knew that they were coming from Australia, but they just didn't have the technology at the time or the know-how, just how to catch him. Like, but eventually they caught the little bastard, right? Eventually they caught him, right? Um, I have a lot of respect for hackers, right? But I don't condone fucking dodgy hacking methods, like, and compromising computer systems and all that shit. Like, there's a good side and a bad side. I'd be a big fan of what's called ethical hacking, which is kind of like doing hacking for good purposes, just to identify vulnerabilities in sort of like insecure systems and stuff like that, so that you can do up a report and say, look, this is where your weaknesses are, like, but the Julian Assanges of the world and stuff like that, like, they weren't. I don't know what their goals and purposes were, like, but I presume that they just got co-opted eventually by nefarious criminal organizations, which probably could be connected to the likes of either your CIA or your KGB or whichever sort of intelligence agency, because this is how it works. Like, he would have been a prime asset for them. Like, so similar to how all the German scientists at the end of World War II would have been sort of like hoovered up by the likes of America and Russia. And this is what happened. Like, some of the German scientists were hoovered up by Russia, some of them hoovered up by America, and escorted out, like, and it didn't matter, like, yeah, sure, they might have been Nazi, but that didn't matter because, like, they had shit up here that was fucking required by whichever state services, like, so it's kind of logical that they would have fucking taken them up, and the same would have happened with Julian Assange and his buddy Pep. I don't know what happened with Pengo. I don't know why he was shot and burnt in the forest in Germany. That was an odd one, like, I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know about Pengo. And the way the internet has gone, like, the way all traces of Pengo have been sort of like erased off the internet, I doubt we'll ever find out. I doubt we'll ever know. So, but anyway, I'm after taking a wee diversion there. What was I talking? I was talking about Israel. For fuck's sake, Jim, would you get back on fucking track, lad? Better catch up. Like, who's John? Who's John? Oh, John. How you doing, John Smith? For a minute there, I thought window lickers. Evening learned window lickers. Brilliant. Welcome, John. Welcome, John. Regina, what are you still doing up? I thought you were going to bed. Jesus Christ. Don't you start fading before our very eyes. You need your beauty sleep, girl. Robert said he used to like Pingu. Well, Pingu. Who's Pingu? What is that, Pingu? I'm half tempted to Google it. Half tempted to Google it, but I won't, like, because can they smash? Can they mash spuds, Jimmy? Yeah. Can who smash spuds? I very much doubt it. Like, are you talking about women? Is Dinny talking about women again? Can they mash? No, they can't. Like, Jesus Christ, not modern women. I bet you the women in the chat here, they could probably mash spuds, like, but a modern woman, no, they can't. But, they couldn't mash spuds. Probably wouldn't know what a spud was. Holy shit, man! Get with the program here. This is not fucking 1976, like, when things were perfect. Like, Yeah, there you go. Dr. Robert is saying, did you not get a good shag, Denny? Just a wank. Holy shit. Yeah. BB is saying Assange was groomed, has links to the Australian doomsday cult, the family, probably CIA, like Princess Churn. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about CIA though, Beeb. I think because of Assange's connection to Pengo leads me, although I don't know. Maybe Pengo was KGB and Assange might have been CIA. I don't know. I don't know which way around. I always leaned to Assange being part of the KGB, but I could be wrong. You know, we don't have any more information. Like all we know he's wanted very fucking badly in the USA, and I don't know why it's taken so long. He's still rotting away in an English prison, and so it's a strange one. It's a strange one. We I wonder will any of us survive to find out the actual truth about who he was working for. I suspect at some stage the truth will come out about who he really was working for. My money's on the KGB, but you could be right, babe. You could be right. But that's interesting that you say that he was the Doomsday Cult, the family, the Doomsday Cult called the family. Um, that I will Google just for the fun of it. Doomsday Cult, their family. I just wonder. I should probably put in Australia now. Uh, I wonder if it'll come up. Okay, right. Okay, where is this site coming from now? I've got. This is Wikipedia, right? So anyway, look, I'll run the family, also known as the Santaniketan Park Association, or the Great White Brotherhood, was an Australian New Age group formed in the mid 1960s under the leadership of Anne Hamilton Byrne, born Elvin Grace Victoria Edwards on the 30th of December 1921 to uh, 13 June 2019. The group taught a mixture of Western and Eastern religious doctrines, with Hamilton Byrne claiming to have been a reincarnation of Jesus. Hold on a second. I thought Donald Trump was the new Jesus. Hold on. We'll sort this out afterwards. It has widely been described as a cult. The group became the center of controversy when its compound in Olinda, Victoria, was raided by police on the 14th of August 1987 amid allegations of child abuse. All children were removed from the premises and were discovered to have been adopted through illegal means. Hamilton Byrne and her husband were eventually arrested in 1993 and charged with conspiracy to defraud and commit perjury in relation to adoption scams, but those charges were eventually dropped. She pleaded guilty to the remaining charge of making a false declaration and was fined $5,000. Anyway, that's interesting. I'll have a look into that, Beep. Cheers for that. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that claim before. I do know that there's something not right with Assange, right? There's something just not quite right there, and it all just seems very odd. And it's very interesting about Assange too, that like there was a very, very important documentary done back in the was it the late 90s. There was an interview, a documentary done on Australian TV, which documented like the whole history of Julian Assange and his hacking history and how he got involved in hacking and all his court cases and all his dealings with the likes of Pengo and that network of little hackers that were working back there at the time to hack into various different American agencies and government universities and stuff like that. That has been cleansed complete. You cannot find that interview for love nor money. This last 2 years, it's gone. Just in the last 2 years, it was there in 2020. That was the last time I looked for it. It was still up. It is gone now. You cannot find that for love nor money. So for whatever reason, that's scrubbed. Very, very important documentary, that, look. And I would love to be able to find that again. But very, very fascinating to get that little bit of insight into Assange's early years, So, but anyway, it might show up at some stage. It's probably out there as a torrent somewhere. I'll be on the lookout for it. I know well. One of these days I'll be thinking about it and go looking for it, and I might just find it just by accident. Okay, so thanks for the messages. I'm still working on my message on my art for Jay. What are you doing for Jason? What sort of art are you doing, Regina? That'd be interesting to find out. Maybe we can showcase it here if it's for public consumption and not too graphic. No pornography, I hope. Oh, I see that. Pokemon has been dropped for Pingu. Oh, we're back to fucking Pokemon. Jeez, I hope not. I fucking hope not. I've had enough Pokemon now to do me a lifetime. Are you Spanish? What the fuck are you listening to this cunt for on a Saturday night for, you feckin' melons? Thanks for the show with support, Spanish. Much appreciated. We love you too. Yeah, baby. Google won't give much anymore. But it was there. It was there 2 years ago. That particular interview with Assange was there 2 years ago, and because I remember going and seeking it out specifically. I should have fucking saved it at the time, but it's gone now. Absolutely gone now. You can't find it anywhere. In fact, you can't even find any information on Pengo. You go looking for Pengo and try to combine the term Pengo with Julian Assange, you cannot find it for love nor money. It's like it never happened, right? So weird. So freaking weird. Yeah, that's right, Rob. My after chat is an echo chamber. I'm just programming everybody, so because they're trying to get out of after chats. But the last one was particularly bad, Rob. The last one was particularly bad, and I figured out afterwards why it was. I'm not even going to go into it now, but there was a reason why it was particularly bad the last night. Now it just didn't have my brain wasn't working, and I should have been able to figure it out. It shouldn't have been as bad as it was, and suffice it to say, I forgot to switch something off. So John Smith is saying Assange was used by the NSA to discredit the CIA. They were battling over funding and infringing on each other's territory. Oh, that's very interesting. So, are the NSA and CIA part of the two cartels which are sort of like vying for control of this hellhole of a planet at the moment? They be opposite cheeks of the same arse. Would that be it? I'm keeping an open mind. Because I don't see any difference between CIA, NSA, KGB, FSB, IDA, the whole fucking lot, all the fucking one, man, all the fucking one. They're all enemies of sort of like honest, sort of like normal people, just they all got a fucking own agendas, man, which are not necessarily the agenda of normal sort of balanced human beings, just the great game, the fucking great game. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of love in the chat, a lot of love. There's love in the chat, when everybody's calling each other tossers, arseholes. Tossers, I think, is the favorite of the whole. Chicken chokers. How you doing, Rich T? So Assange Rothschild lawyer Mark Stevens. Yeah, really, was that back in the day? Was that back in the day? Because like I think there was a woman lawyer though. I think in his quest as he was trying to escape, when he was trying to escape the and sort of like escape to where was it, Venezuela or somewhere like that. Like, didn't he have a female lawyer at that stage too? I just wonder, are you going back to the late 90s when during the hacking cases? You know, he would have been much in demand. Like, he would have been a hot target for sort of like intelligence agencies. He would have been much in demand. Like, they would have wanted him or a piece of him anyway, either to know what he knew or to utilize his skills, because he had some. He knew what he was doing. Like, he was a good hacker. He knew what he was fucking doing, man. Well, there's two faces to that. He knew what he was doing, but yet he didn't know what he was doing. Like, he would have been young and wild as well too at the same time. So, and probably for various reasons, he found solace in the computer, and probably a natural progression. Like, probably didn't realize what he was getting into at the fucking time. So that's, this shit can happen. So I'm not saying he got into it like for nefarious, but like he might have just got caught up in events, like, and this shit can happen. That routine in non-porn, So, Jimmy is a spy for the dolls. I don't know. I don't know. I have very little interest in the doll. What Dinny's on about there? He's on about doll Aaron. I've very little interest in doll fucking Aaron now. John is saying Assange was caught and he was hacking when he was 17. He was looking at a 2-year sentence. Australian intelligence passed him on to the NSA. NSA are the same as MI8 here. They deal with communications. Yeah, yeah. No, he would have been passed on for sure, John Smith. Like, he would have been hot acid. Like, they would have been able to use him. They would have been mad to use his skills. So whoever got him, would have made use of him. That doesn't mean he couldn't have been co-opted and sort of like been a double agent as well too. Like, it's very possible he could have been a double agent. Who knows? Maybe the truth will come out in time. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be holding my breath waiting for the whole truth to come out, because now is not the time. It was when he was setting him up as a paragon of truth. Doesn't anybody know how Intel operates? Yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't disagree with that, Beeb. Yeah, that was it. Like, everything we see now these days is counter intel operations, and we're seeing it all around, like, and I think Israel being a prime example, like what was going on in Israel this morning, like, I don't see that as just being Israel didn't see that fucking coming. They allowed that to fucking happen, man, right? They allowed that fucking shit to happen this morning. It was crazy, like, well, I seen some imagery now this morning. I'm kind of sorry I seen it, like, um, I've seen murdered Israelis and kidnapped Israeli female soldiers, kidnapped generals. I think they've even got a general, as far as I know. They've got a general out. About a couple of hours ago, it was unconfirmed, like, but I think now it's kind of confirmed. They have themselves a little general they picked up at an army barracks. Like, they were. I've seen civilians getting sort of like picked up and hooded and being carted off, and I've seen some awful scenes this morning. I've seen whole rooms of people just shot to bits, man, and blood everywhere, man. It was like, Oh man, for fuck's sake, man. It's just sometimes it just like Telegram just is like you just see some of the most awful fucking stuff like sometimes in Telegram and sometimes you see stuff that you just wish you didn't see, you know. I've seen a lot of it like when the Ukraine war started, like, you know, and some of the imagery was just so fucking brutal, like, you know, so brutal and awful, like, you know, so and it's been a while since I'd seen any imagery like that until this morning, like, you know, so I'm just going to be very, very careful about what I click on now at the moment regarding Israel. But you know, the story, the official story coming out of Israel is that they didn't see it happening. They didn't see it coming. He says, "No, I don't believe that. That's bollocks, right? Absolute fucking bollocks. They have the best intelligence service on the planet. Like, you know, Israel are running the intelligence for the whole goddamn fucking West. Probably Russia as well. Probably the whole globe. Probably the whole goddamn globe, because they have built the infrastructure to be able to goddamn do it. And they couldn't see this coming. No, fuck off, man. Fuck off. You know, I'm not a fucking sap, right? They allowed this to fucking happen. What happened with the Iron Dome this morning? Their defense system. I've seen some fucking crazy imagery of it. Totally an absolute failure. Was it allowed to fail? That all those missiles were allowed to hit their targets, and all you see is the Iron Dome missiles just going around and just running around in circles in the skies over Tel Aviv, as if they were a bit drunk and didn't know what they were doing. No, man, fuck off, man. That was all allowed to goddamn happen. It's showing up for a chat. Yeah, if anybody wants to come in, absolutely. Um, I don't know. Is Sean even in the house? I didn't even see Sean in Spanish. You know? Sure, if anybody wants to come in, sure, why not? If you're willing to put up with a goddamn echo. I'm going to put off getting fucking. In fact, no, fuck you, man. I can't be dealing with fucking echoes, man. At least, like, when I come on my own, I'm not going to be getting the echoes, issues with echoes and stuff like that. And when I get a new sound card, I'll open the lines up properly and stuff like that. No, and until then, no, fuck it. I can't be dealing with all the bullshit, like, you know, people whinging. Jimmy, you got a fucking echo. You know, it's always the usual fucking suspects whinging and fucking whining. So when I get my song sorted, grand, we'll get as many people as you fucking want in, like, you know, absolutely. Two-fingered mama. Don't you think it's strange? How are you doing, Two-Finger Mama? Don't you think it's strange that we have been pumped with more images of war and massacre from Israel in less than a couple of hours than what we have seen from Ukraine in a year? I was thinking about this earlier on, Two-Fingered Mama, and one of the crazy things that I've been noticing over the last couple of days is that, like, there's been nothing coming out of Armenia and Azerbaijan, right? Nothing. We have had a genocide there in Armenia, Azerbaijan, about 150,000 people either displaced, probably many of them sort of like murdered, executed, and fuck all about it. Nothing. I've been hearing some reports that maybe NATO is probably coming in to try and help, but which is not making sense. It's like I thought, like Armenia were under Russian guardianship. I thought Russia were supposed to be taking care of the fucking Armenians. That was their fucking role. They had a treaty with Armenia. Where have Russia been? Well, of course, Russia are fucking busy in goddamn Ukraine. So I am hearing reports that NATO may be going in there to provide assistance to the Armenians. It's very, very strange what's going on there. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But yeah, it's all about Israel. It's always about Israel. Israel is always sort of like, right, nothing can happen to fucking Israel. And I'll tell you what, there's a price of blood to be paid for what's happened in that part of the world, of the Middle East. It's going way back to before the end of World War II, back to the Balfour Declaration when that agreement was made that like that part of Palestine would be handed over to a certain group of people, which you can't fucking talk about. But anyway, I'll call them the Khazars just for the sake of keeping the channel fucking alive, right? We'll call them the Khazars, right? So, but the amount of damage that has been done to ordinary people in that part of the world, the amount of displacement, the amount of murders, the imprisonment of children, women, men, it's just there's a blood price to be paid there, and I see this as being baked into the pie. I do, like, this has been baked into the pie. This was how it was planned out. I do feel that, like, I do feel that this was planned out. This was supposed to happen this fucking way because, like, it kind of suits an agenda, like, and probably sort of like pushes on towards World War III because I think what we're seeing, and this was an interesting conversation that was going on in the Telegram today about, is this going to be the flashpoint? And I believe it may be. I think this is going to be the flashpoint. This is probably where World War III will officially come into the perception of the general population, even though it's been in full swing for a couple of years now, but still, starting with 2020, when an interesting little medical experiment was unleashed on an unsuspecting public, like, that's when I believe World War III really started, like, that's I think that's where we are, and we've seen this slow, steady progression towards this point in time, and Israel now will be the thing. Israel will be like the flashpoint. And do you know what? I was so sickened. I was so fucking sickened today. I'll get back to Trump now in just a minute. Let me just catch up on the chat. Yeah, so that's right. That's right. So seen that, BB. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah, Israel is a false flag with enough real collateral damage to garner support and sympathy. They will get more sympathy than is deserved, really. I'm afraid they have this coming. They have this coming, like, and it's not nice to see civilians getting shot today, like I seen, man. It's fucking awful, like, but still, there's a blood debt to be paid there, and they're not innocent parties in all of this. I'm afraid. I'm not sure I can support them or have sympathy for them. That's just the way it is. John is saying, I know a guy who works in computer security in Cambridge. They had a contract with an Israeli firm. This firm sent staff from Israel to work in Cambridge. And my friend said they were clueless. Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me, man. It's like a lot of the security staff that might be coming from Cambridge would be Russians, right? Yeah. Most of the IT people in Israel are bloody Russian, right? So I don't know how well they're educated. I don't know. It's just one of those things, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I didn't know. Elon and BB met up. Holy shit, man! How the fuck did that happen? Holy shit! Fucking chat's flying. Miss Blue Sky saying, yeah, planned so Israel can play the same old terrorist card, whatever they don't cause terror to the Palestinians on the daily, and to pray people in Alaska Mosque every Ramadan. Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think there's a bigger thing going on there, Blue Sky. We'll probably get into that. Regina is saying it's happening all over the world. Stop looking at over the world. Look at your own place. I do look at my own place, but look, fucking hell, Ireland is fucking boring. Ireland bores me stupid. Like, it's. I don't look at my own place too much. It's boring as fuck. Like, it's not even worth talking about it. It's so transparent here. It's like it's just stupid, right? That's why I don't look at Ireland. I look at geopolitics, and that's. I look at England. There's a lot going on in England. There's a lot going on everywhere. It's hard to cover it all. Like, and to be honest. If I was to cover Ireland, I'd bore you stupid. Like, you'd be gone to sleep already. I'd probably do you a favour. You'd be gone to sleep already. You'd be getting your bloody sleep so you could come back to us next week with a fresh mind. But anyway, it is what it is. Spanish is saying, hey, Jimmy, I've Racoons news. Tony's funeral is on Monday at 2 p.m. If you can't make it, say a prayer if it suits. So, Monday at 2 p.m. This Monday coming, 2 p.m. Tony's funeral. Thanks, Spanish, for that, brother. Fair play. Yeah, it's been tough. Like, I think Jam Noise as well too done a little bit of a thing for a memorial for Tony as well too on one of her channels. I was trying to find it. I have a sleuth in the chat box was trying to fill me in and tell me that there was a little Jam Noise put a little something up, and I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm going to continue looking. I'll continue looking. I might have found it by next week, hopefully, if all goes well. Like, it's just. But we'll see. I just didn't have a huge amount of time beforehand just to check all the little videos Jam has put up lately. So. Tinny is asking who is running the CVTT cameras in London. Well, we all know who's running the CCTV cameras in London. It's the same fucking cunts that run the CCTV cameras everywhere, and that probably have access to your goddamn CCTV camera in your home as well. So it's always the same fuckers, man. Always the same fuckers. Now, did I catch up? I think I've caught up. But what I wanted to talk about was this fucking arsehole Trump, right? This goddamn fucking arsehole Trump. I swear to God. He is pissing me off, man, right? So, Trump came out today. I'll read the headline. Trump condemns Hamas attacks on Israel. Suggests Biden admin funding behind the attacks, right? So I'll just read I'm going to read a small little bit from it. So Donald Trump condemned the surprise attacks Hamas launched in Israel and was saying unequivocally that Israel has a right to defend itself. These Hamas attacks are a disgrace, he said, and Israel has every right to defend itself with overwhelming force. Trump posted to Truth Social Saturday morning. Sadly, American taxpayer dollars helped fund these attacks, which many reports are saying came from the Biden administration. We brought so much peace to the Middle East through the Abraham Accords, only to see Biden whittle it away at a far more rapid pace than anyone thought possible. Here we go again. Right. Now, this is what, I tell you what, if I could get Trump right fucking now, I would stick these words up his stupid fucking butthole. I really would. We brought so much peace to the Middle East through the Abraham Accords, right? Now, I always seen Trump as kind of like, okay, like, I thought he was kind of funny. I kind of liked him. I thought he was interesting. And up to a point, because just because of the trouble he was causing. I just thought it was comical to watch, and I just thought, well, this is very interesting, But my whole my whole view of Trump changed once the Abraham Accords came in, because that was when I knew for sure that this fucker was the fucking Antichrist, right? I'll just put it in those terms. I'll absolutely put it in those terms. That's when I knew he was the goddamn fucking Antichrist. Because this is this little bastard here, right? He brought in the Abraham Accords, which was more or less the division of the Holy Land, right? Dividing it into two. They moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, right? Now, this was the day that I fucking knew, because I follow a little bit of the Bible, stuff like that. I wouldn't classify myself as a Christian or anything like that, but I do follow the Bible, right? And I like to I like to delve into the inner meanings and in what's in the scriptures and the verses and stuff like that. It's all very, very fascinating and very, very interesting, especially Genesis. Genesis is extremely interesting, about who we are, where we come from, and who actually runs this fucking world, right? It's not who we think it is. But anyway, that's another story, right? That's not this story. But the Abraham Accords, when I seen that coming in, that's when I knew that this fucker has come to sort of usher in the Third World War, right? That's that was my thoughts at the time. This was back in, was it 2019? Was it 2019? I think it was 2019 when the Abraham Accords were signed and agreed, and that's when I knew that this was going to end up in an all-out fucking war, because this was the division of the Holy Land. This tied into biblical prophecy, right? Because what these evangelical Christians are like, they are crying out for the Third World War, because that's going to usher in the second coming of Jesus fucking Christ, right? And this fucking Trump is foolish enough to believe all these Israeli rabbis and all this fucking shit, because they have him sort of painted as the Messiah. Trump actually believes he's the fucking Messiah, right? The second coming, right? He believes it because the Jewish rabbis are telling him he's the second coming, right? It's and he is so fucking deluded. He thinks that he will do anything for Israel. So he ushered in the Abraham Accords. He organized that peace treaty, in the Arab worlds, which is said in Bible prophecy to be to usher in the Third World War, right? And the war to end all fucking wars, right? This peace treaty, and I believe it. I absolutely fucking believe it. And what we're seeing here going on in Israel at the moment is probably helping this on to the next stage, right? So, what's happened this morning in Israel with the attack, which is not a real attack, but it was allowed to fucking happen, is going to allow Israel to expand even further, right? So they're going to, this is just my thinking, right? This is just my fucking thinking on this, right? They are going to try to expand, create an even larger buffer zone. So I am a little bit concerned at the moment for the people in Palestine, because they are in serious trouble. They're kind of they're a little bit like the people in Ukraine. They're stuck in the fucking middle, They're stuck in the fucking middle of this bullshit, right? And they have no fucking way out. It's like one of the largest prisons in the fucking world, largest open air prison in the fucking world. They can't go anywhere, Who's going to take them? Where are they going to fucking go? And constantly, every day, they keep losing fucking land. So we're going to see Israel expand here now. Been hearing reports that Egypt are sort of drawing a line in the sand here, and they says they're warning Israel now: do not enter into Gaza, do not go any fucking further in. There's a few countries. I'm hearing Hezbollah are gathering to the north as well too, in Lebanon. So this is going to escalate. I do think that. I think we're going to see an escalation here. I have been waiting as well too, just because this is apparently supposed to be the next flashpoint. First flashpoint was supposed to be Ukraine. That was predicted back in 2014, I think it was, and the next flashpoint is predicted to be in the Middle East somewhere in the Middle East. So it might be safe to assume that I don't know which Middle East country now exactly like, but it's I think we're going to see it happen now fairly shortly now. Um, we're definitely on the way here. We're definitely on the way here. Um, but it's all good. It's all good. Bring it on. Bring it on. What's going to happen is going to happen, and I'm not going to worry too much about it. Like, in fact, let's get it over with. Let's get it fucking over with. If we're going to fucking do something, let's fucking do it. Get it over with. Scar's got dyslexic fingers tonight. Maybe you're saying Jared Kushner and Steve Mnuchin cashed in fast on their Trump work, raising 3.5 billion from Arab states. Yeah. Kushner, I'll tell you what. Kushner was running Trump. Kushner was running Trump. Like, Kushner is Habad. That's who he is. Like, he's Habad, like Habad Lubavitch, and that's who Kushner is. I don't know whether Trump has learned his lesson or not yet. I doubt it. Like, he's too fucking. He's almost too fucking vain. I think he likes the idea of being the fucking second coming of Jesus Christ. He's probably stupid enough to fall for that bullshit. So Spanish is saying, so it's the 10th. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I don't know. I'm not going to. I'm not going to get involved in that conversation. I'll let everybody in the chat sort that conversation out, because I'm getting confused now. So hold on a second. Let's go back. Is there a bit of a debate about when Tony's? No. I think I got the right info. I'm pretty sure. Spanish wouldn't send me wrong. Kelly is nice. How you doing, Kelly? Belt and Road Initiative and BRICS. They're all bought and paid for. Yeah. I've been doing a bit of research into the BRICS. It was never meant to be a replacement currency. It was just an idea. In fact, I think it was an idea by some Western bankers. In fact, like the BRICS is not going to be taking over anything, and I think the Belt and Road is more or less dead in the water by the sounds of things. But we'll hear more over the coming months about the Belt and Road. But it sounds like the Belt and Road is not going to be going much fucking further. I think America is bursting it up, just destroying it. Like there's a lot of moving parts here, and I don't know if China are going to be able to sort of like make that Belt and Road Initiative happen. I don't think it's going to work out well for them in the end. So I think we all should be thankful. Maybe I think the people in Africa should be thankful. The last thing they want is investment coming in from China, considering how they do building projects in their own country. I think Africa can do without that. They're probably better off trying it themselves. Anyway, we'll see where it goes, that Belt and Road and BRICS. But I don't think they're going to be going very far, to be honest. Sean is saying they brought peace to Iraq, Syria, Libya, and Afghanistan. They've done a real good job. This guy saying even Palestine's water supply is controlled, and now, in light of this shit, Israel are going to try to halt their electricity supply. Oh yeah, well, the electricity supply is like very, very intermittent anyway in Palestine. Everything is intermittent in Palestine because it's all controlled, like, absolutely all controlled. Uh, there isn't that much water, like Israel as well too. They depend a lot on desalinated water, so like, because of the lack of sort of like fresh water sources, like they have to desalinate a lot of seawater and stuff. So I assume a lot of the municipal water supplies in on the Gaza Strip would be coming from desalinated stations within uh, in Israel. More than likely. Kelly saying one of the coolest girls I ever met was from Iran. Okay, I don't think I've ever met an Iranian before. Not that I remember, anyway. Denny, yeah, fuck him, Denny, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. Does it remind you Jason's Jimmy's Ukraine spot? Yeah, well, to be honest, Spanish, it is probably one of the only stories that's been talked about today, like, so, and it is important. It's a very, very important story because this will set the tone for what's coming next. I think this Israel thing is a big deal. That's probably why didn't even mean to spend so long talking about it tonight, like, but there was a few little rabbit holes I did want to go down into, like, especially the Trump side of it, Trump as the second coming of Jesus Christ in his own deluded fucking mind. Yeah, fuck off. Well, baby's saying Africa don't want dollar loans either. Too many strings. That's possible. Well, I did hear an interesting take on why Africa decided to go with PMC Wagner for their security rather than America and NATO. And I think one of the reasons quoted to me was because NATO won't deal with all the gangs and stuff. So because you got a lot of violence and you got a lot of criminal elements in Africa, like all vying for their own share of what's on offer, all the profits and stuff like that. Like, so you got lots of chaotic killings and sort of like all this sort of shit there. And the difference between NATO and PMC Wagner is PMC Wagner will come in and actually sort of like pick fucking sides. Anybody gets out of hand, they'll go in and kill the bastards. Whereas NATO will just let it ride, like, So that was one of the reasons I heard PMC Wagner were preferred in some of these African countries. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, but it could be. It could be. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. You're welcome, Kelly. You're very welcome. You know, um, I've been trying to improve it, picking up on everybody's comment, if at all possible. It was one of the skills I was lacking in. So I've been trying to improve and just focus more on the chat, like, and because like the last thing I want to be doing is going into a bloody monologue of what I find interesting in the fucking world, because you know what? It's not all about me. I called Jimmy a can. New topic, please. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'll move on. We'll definitely move on. We'll definitely move on. I'm just trying to catch up. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat, and which I have done now. Spanish, I have done. Okay, give me a break. Give me a break, man. For fuck's sake. God, he's a harsh cunt, right? He's forever on me fucking case, right? I'd like to see him fucking come up and handle it. In fact, like, Spanish, if you want, I'll host you next week. You come on in, you manage the show, and you run it the way it should be fucking run. How's that sound to you? I'll host you, right? I'd love to hear that. I would love to hear that. But anyway, there was another thing that during the week, because I was saying to you like how I was. I was saying to you how I was sort of like taking a kind of a deep dive into some old 9/11 stuff there during the week, but not the 9/11 stuff that like uni would be looking at and stuff like that, but stuff that caught my interest back a few years ago. I don't know if anybody ever remembers. Maybe you're saying if you say every sentence twice, it takes longer, Jimmy. If you say, yeah, you got to spread it out, man. You got 2 hours to fill here, Vivi. You got to drag it out. I don't want to sound like a boring old cunt. So yeah, I would say everything twice. That makes fucking more sense. Hopefully people get confused and won't remember that I've just been repeating myself. Has my sound gone funny, Paula? Yeah. James is saying it's fine. Okay, it should be fine. It only goes funny when you lot come in. That's the only time it goes a bit fucking off. Like, so, but a few years ago, I found a very, very interesting site, right? And it was. Thanks, Paula. You're just teasing. Glad to hear that. I do suffer from a bad case of paranoia these days. You never know. But talking about some of the 9/11 stuff, I don't know if did any of you ever see there was an image going around maybe about 20 years ago, which showed a very, very odd configuration of US dollar notes, right? The one that I remember at the time was there was a dollar note, a $20 note, which depicted the destruction of the World Trade Centers, right? And but the dollar note had to be folded in a very, very particular way. Now, back when I found the image, it was like I found it on a site that was being run by a dude called, I think he was called Golightly. I think he was called Golightly. Very, very strange dude. I actually met him once in person here in Ireland, up at Tara. Like he came to do a talk about Tara and stuff like that, and how Tara, apparently the Ark of the Covenant is buried at Tara and stuff like that. And it's like very, very a very, very odd sort of a very, very odd sort of a chap. Like, and he was also like one of the. He also used to talk about how the Queen was not really the Queen because she was never coronated on the Stone of Scone, right? For example. But I remember tuning into his website long before I'd ever met him, like, and came across this image of the American. I can't remember if it was the $20 bill or the $10 bill, which, when it was folded in a very particular way, it showed the destruction of the Twin Towers, right? Now, I thought this was very, very curious at the time. Very, very curious, but I didn't know the source of the information. It was only years and years afterwards that I actually found the source of the information and where it actually came from. Now, the chap that actually sort of like brought the information out, like about what was printed on the denominated notes in America about what was going to happen to the Trade Center, was a chap called Jonathan Kleck. Now, he's an interesting chap. Like, I follow his channel to this day, although he was booted off YouTube, but he's back on YouTube, back in his original channel for some reason. He got his channel back for some reason, even though he was gone for a very long fucking time. And so I was very, very thankful to actually track down the source of this information. Now, I have a little video to share, right? A small little video to share, okay? And it's because not only was the the Twin Tower destruction to be found on the denominated notes, but also the bombing of the Pentagon, right? And also there was a few others. There was a few others. I can't think of it at the moment, but you'll get what I mean. I'll just play this little video, right? I'll play this little video, and I'll show you exactly what I mean, right? And hopefully now, I'll just do a screenshot because I'll probably put it into full screen mode so that you can actually uh, see exactly what I'm talking about in full screen.
Reports have shown, hidden in the United States currency notes reveals something very insidious. These images are disturbing, viewer discretion is advised. Reports show the bills produced and distributed for the United States have printed on them bombings that have happened in the past, and bombings that will happen in the future. The immediate threat coming is a nuclear attack on New York City. It has all been planned from the beginning and there is no stopping what is to come. These are clips taken from a video called Destruction of America produced by Jonathan Kleck, and have been deleted by YouTube to continue to conceal the truth. We are now looking at the 1998 US $20 bill, alongside the Twin Towers moments after the attack that took place in 2001. As you can see, the money printed years prior to the attack is identical to the attack on the Twin Towers. Now we will turn the bill over to see the Pentagon bombing on the same bill, folded in the same pattern. This is now two attacks that happened on the same day identically printed on the same United States $20 bill. If you are skeptical that this is real, or think it might be a coincidence, this is not the first time they printed an attack on your money. Let's quickly review the older $20 bill. This is the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building bombing that took place in Oklahoma City in 1995. Some key characteristics worth pointing out is the rounded corners on the ends of the building, the face blown off, and the floors of the building jutting out. I will now take an image from the Oklahoma bombing and lay the $20 bill on top of it. As you can see, we have another perfect match. Now we will go over the bombing that is to come. This is the United States $100 bill. Folded into the same upside-down pentagram, you can see New York City being consumed by an explosion. There is hidden watermark ink on the bill that cannot be seen with the naked eye. Putting the image into computer software, I will show you each layer of ink that shows you the full destruction of New York City. With each layer of ink added, you can see the movement of the explosion coming towards you. We are front-loaded about this upcoming attack in many ways. Here is an example from a movie called The Day After Tomorrow. Putting the bill and movie clip next to each other, you can see they are front-loading the same agenda. Looking on the next image hidden on the same $100 bill, you can see a nuclear missile impacting the water. The watermark layers of ink show the water splashing from the impact of the nuke. Laid on top of the bill is a missile strike and how it would look to show you the resemblance between the two. Finally, let's look at the new $10 bill and review the exact same agenda hidden on it. Firstly, notice the orange tint on the bill. This was done with intent. On the top of the image, you will see a large explosion happening while the building has a large tidal wave pouring over top of it. In the bottom portion of the image, you will see the building's reflection from the water flooding. The threats are real and should be taken seriously. For more information, links are in the description below.
Right. Okay.
So here is.
But anyway, I have to say, I'm very fond of this guy, Jonathan Kleck. Very, very fond of him. Despite he's extremely Christian. He's very, very Christian. But he's done an awful lot of really interesting work over the years. So, like showing how the whole system that we live in is kind of like almost satanic. Like this is kind of leading on from another conversation which was going on in the Telegram, like over the last day or two. Like I think BV posted a link to a series that is going on, like, and it shows like kids who have these special powers and stuff like that, like, but it's almost like kind of like apocalyptic type stuff, like, and this chick has got stuff. She's able to kill people with her blood and all sorts of crazy things, like, and that got me thinking about some of this Jonathan Kleck material, like, so. But at the end of the day, isn't it strange that, like, information like that could have been encoded into the US denominated notes, right? Very, very compelling. Very, very compelling. Like, when um, it's kind of weird watching it there, but that's a good production of his old work. Like, but you can find his old presentations online. Like, he does an extremely, like, you can find some old presentations of his, like, way back, uh, maybe 20 years ago, like, where he's shown like how he folds the notes up, like, and he shows you exactly the whole process of how to go through, how to read the notes and stuff like that. And but they're talking there now about, like, how there's different layers of ink and stuff like that, like, which allow you to sort of like get a 3D view of, like, uh, potential events. So I was just thinking about it there during the week, like, are we going to go? Are we going to see an attack on America again? Because it's only a few weeks ago now, like, that the remote viewers and all the psychics and stuff, they were going mental. Like, they're absolutely going fucking mental about something that was coming, like, something 9/11 scale, So that's what got me thinking about maybe trying to track down that old material from Kleck, because he predicted 9/11 before it fucking happened, like, he actually showed, like, how it wasn't a prediction, but it was actually encoded, like, he didn't know a date or anything like that, like, but kind of curious. I thought a very, very odd little curiosity. But I thought it would be interesting just to have a little look at that. Like, I don't know what you think of it now. So I'd be curious to hear what everybody thinks about that. Or did anybody ever hear of that before? So John is reckoning that the butter price has. He thought it went down in price, but it's actually gone up. They've just lowered. Yeah. I think we're going to see more of this, John. I think we're going to see more of this. What's the name they have for it? Shrinkflation. I think that's called shrinkflation. James is saying, yes, I've seen that, and the Hoover Dam. I didn't see the Hoover Dam. Now, I don't think Kleck done the Hoover Dam, like, but that's interesting. If you have a source for that, James, we'd much appreciate that. I'd love to see that now. Spanish, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on in that shithole. I really don't, okay? And that's the truth. I'd never come up and say fucking Ukraine is fucking winning, all right? Never, right? I don't know what the fuck's going on there. All I know is it smells like a fucking turd, right? And if it smells like a turd, it probably is a goddamn turd, right? So I don't know who's fucking who. I don't know who the good guys are. I don't know who the fucking bad guys are. All I know is that there's probably two factions at fucking war here, and we're all stuck in the goddamn fucking middle of it, whether you like it or not, right? Um, Now we're back to fucking war again. I tell you what, I thought you would have been happy to fucking go to fucking conspiracy theories for a few fucking minutes, like. But no, let's stay on the war. Let's stay on the war, Spanish. Why not, sure? Why not? So it just seems that James is the only one who really. Does anybody else know about it? Oh yeah, Spanish seen that shit years ago. Yeah, okay. So a few people have seen it. Yeah, BBC as well too. Ginny's not buying that shit. I don't know whether he's talking about butter or whether he's talking about what's printed on the notes. Yeah, Spanish. Yeah, yeah, yeah. John Washington is set out in the shape of a pentagon. Now, a lot of places are set out in sort of like shapes like that. You know, I think all cities are kind of laid out in that fashion. We do live. Yeah, I think one of the crazy things about this world is that like everybody thinks that this place was created by God, and that this no, it's not, man. This place was not created by God at all. Not in the slight. We are living in a place which is probably owned and run by our good friend Satan, more than likely, or you could call him Abaddon, or you could probably call him Apollyon, one or the other, like, you know. But it's definitely satanic. I came to that conclusion a long fucking time ago, man. Even before I even started looking into all this odd sort of stuff, like, you know, as a 14, 15-year old, I knew something wasn't right. I knew the Vatican Church wasn't right. I knew something was wrong, like, you know. But it's kind of clear to me what it is now, and this is definitely not. This place was not created by God, and people were not. We were not created. We are actually the fallen fucking angels, and that's us. That's who we are. We're the fallen angels. And you know, and that's the fucking truth of it. I think, you know, that's the only conclusion I can come to. Especially if you do look into the Old Testament and stuff like that, you know, it's like, holy shit, man, we're the fallen angels. BB is saying Seattle, Hoover Dam, San Fran, all predicted and foreshadowed in the media. Yeah, I would agree. Kelly is nice is saying, read The Underground Empire by James Mills. When I was a stupid kid, changed my life. Don't read it. Most of it is boring. Made me laugh though when the anthrax was mailed to the White House. Yeah, yeah, it was probably flour that was mailed to the and then he's turned into a flat earther all of a sudden. Holy crap. Well, he's lost it now. I'll track that down, Jen. I'll see if I can find out something on the Hoover Dam. Like, you know, I have heard that there was supposed to be some sort of an attack on the Hoover Dam, like, you know, but I'd imagine like the damage the Hoover Dam would do would be limited enough. Like, you know, I'm sure like there might be. I think the Three Gorges Dam was more likely to blow than the Hoover Dam, but we'll see. We'll see. Denny is saying we are living in hell. Can't wait to get to heaven. Lol. I think you're probably right there, Denny. You know, definitely. Blue Sky. I'm glad to hear Jimmy explores his conspiracy side. I wasn't sure how far you go into that world. I go quite far into it, although not as far as I've been in the past. Blue Sky. You know, I used to be. I used to eat, sleep, and drink conspiracy. For it's. I'll tell you what's happened. This last 3 years has just sort of bored me to tears because we have this new swath of conspiracy theorists coming out. We're just finding it for the first time, and it's polluting. It's polluting my timeline completely, and it's just like, holy shit, man! You know, why are we doing all this shit? I've done all this before. What's new? What's new? It's like, so I've gotten kind of bored with all the conspiracy stuff, like, and needed a break from it. Like, needed a break from it. So I do seek solace in the mainstream media these days. BBSN Houstonic has done some interesting research which suggests the mass vax was supposed to be happening in 2001, but another group stepped in and pulled off the 9/11 op. There's so many strange things going on, babe, at the moment. It's like even with the Israel stuff, right? And that little article that I was reading from Trump earlier on, like about how he's sort of like admonishing the Biden admin for funding Hamas and organizing this thing against Israel. There's definitely a battle between two factions. There's no doubt about it in my mind. There's a big battle going on between two factions for control of the show. Um, that might lead one to believe that there might be some good guys or bad guys, but I'm not so sure. I just think they're all bad guys, right? And it doesn't matter like which ones fucking win. It's going to be a bunch of bad cunts no matter what fucking way it turns out. That's the way I think. Like, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I like there's a lot of evidence which would suggest like the towers were should have fallen in the mid 90s. I remember at the first bombing that went off, like the first bombing attempt that was probably failed. Uh, there was some evidence to suggest that they were supposed to collapse at that time. I don't know. I don't know. It's very, very possible because there were pretty large explosions in the basements of the Twin Towers back in those days. So, but there's no doubt that there's two factions at war with each other. Um, it's not clear to me whether there's a difference between either of them. Are there some benefactors out there? There's a possibility that we have benefactors out there. I don't know. For some reason, like humans have managed to survive on this fucking planet for a very long time, which leads me to believe that we have benefactors, right? But there's also a load of evidence which shows too that there's another class which may have been sort of like negative entities, which may have even engineered us, like and put us here on the planet. Like I'm talking going way back. Like if you look at some of the research into the Bible and stuff like that, especially in Genesis, like about the creation of man, the creation of the planet, the creation of man and woman, like and how man and woman, like it is generally understood in the religious world that like God created man and woman, but like if you look into Genesis 1 and like it was actually the Elohim that created man and woman, like, and the Elohim, like, according to some valid researchers into Bible meaning, especially into the interlinear. I think I'm thinking about Big Lino. What's your man's name? Big Lino. I can't think of his first name at the moment, but Big Lino. He's the main man who is responsible for the translations of all the old text on the interlinear Bible, and he looks into the true meanings of the old Hebrew words and does the translations for them. The Elohim, like were the gods, like the gods, like so there was no god that created it, like it was the gods, and these were the Elohim, or the what were known as the progenitors, that the fallen angels, basically the angels that fell down and mated with humans, right? So there does seem to be a lot of interesting data points in the Bible which suggest that like we were engineered on some level, right? um, I don't know how they done it, like advanced genetics, who knows? Maybe God just picked up a pile of dirt and pulled it together and blew on it, and all of a sudden Adam was born. I think it was a bit more complicated than that, like So, um, but I think that's one of the reasons I like Jonathan Cleck. Like he does kind of like spell out like how in the Old Testament, like he does talk about the Elohim and the gods, right? Not God, but the gods, right? Who were the angels that fell from heaven, right? And how they created this space, So it kind of does look like we're kind of stuck in the middle of a spiritual war, like, um, and that's the only way that I can read into it at the moment. Like, but it's hard to know. It's very, very hard to know. As a layman looking by and just depending on translations from people that you're never sure. You're never totally fucking sure who's who on this planet. Like, who's spreading misinformation and who's not. It's almost impossible to know who the fuck is who. You alone, nothing, and be happy. Cheer up, for fuck's sake. Yeah, Jenny. Yeah, Jenny. Look, it's all bullshit, man. All bullshit. Best not to fucking. Everybody goes, so many fucking channels. That's all. If you go into bitch shoot, that's all you hear. Klaus Schwab. You alone, fucking nothing. Be happy. All this fucking negativity. It's you know, don't listen to all that shit, man. Everything will be just fucking fine, man. Even if we do fucking lose our lives and all this fucking bullshit, you'll be going home, right? You'll get a fucking break from this shithole, like, because this place is a goddamn hell, right? And what the fuck are we doing here? Sometimes it's what the fuck am I doing in this goddamn fucking shithole, right? Cunt of a fucking planet, man. And it's just so bloody dysfunctional. It's just like, this can't be fucking real, man. You know, if some of these fucking religions are right, and we keep fucking getting reborn into this shit, it's just holy fuck, man. Are you serious, man? We gotta fucking keep getting reborn into this bullshit. When the fuck does it stop, right? where is the emergency stop button, man? It's like, I want to get off this fucking bus, man. I've always wondered. I've always thought that, like, this is probably my last time coming here. I've not kind of known this from a young age. It's just like, this is going to be my last time here. I don't know why. I've always thought that, like, from a very, very young age. But I've always thought that this is going to be my last time here. And long before I ever started delving into fucking any spiritual stuff or anything like that, it's just had this. This is my last time here. Does anybody else ever get that? Or is it just me? CMB, how you doing, CMB? One faction at war with us. You could be right. I don't know. One faction. Could be. I think there's two factions, but anyway, I'll agree to disagree with you. Dennis, yes, that sounds a bit like all property is theft. This whole thing of ownership, it's overrated, man. This nobody owns anything in this world, and despite what anybody might think, you don't own anything, and not meant to, right? You can't take it with you when you go. It's just the way it goes. Shouldn't be the goal of things. This is a spiritual experience. I've come to the conclusion this is definitely a spiritual experience here on earth. Whatever the purpose is, the long-term purpose is, I don't know. Just don't have those memories available to me at the moment. Like, it might become clear when I die. Apparently it's supposed to be all made sort of like clear when you die, and that may be when you figure it out what the actual truth is, like. So I do look forward to those days. As I say, like, the way things have been going this year, like, we never know. We never know when we're going to be getting called next. So I could be next. Fuck knows who could be next, right? And in a way, I welcome it. Like, it's no big deal. It's just a transition, really, at the end of the fucking day. And hope the fuck I don't have to come back to this shithole, though. It's like, there was I wonder, could I get away with playing a tune, and I might be able to take a small little break just for a few minutes. Um, I've one tune that I wanted to fucking play for. I hopefully it'll be safe. I don't even know if it's safe to play this tune, but I think it might be. But I found a really fucking wicked tune, really fucking wicked, man. You wouldn't believe it. So, hopefully it'll be fucking safe. I know it's going to be. I it, I know it's going to be a bit weird playing this platform on YouTube. Hopefully you don't get a fucking warning for this, but wait till you see this. Wait till you see this. And I can go. I'll go take a little break. I'll come back and I'll catch up with what you're saying about this tune because this this is probably going to get you triggered. All right, come on. Whenever you're ready. Doesn't seem to want to play for some reason. What if I? Ah,
I've been smelling my hole. I just got a sex change. It's already infected. It smells like shit and decay. Really good chance I'm gonna take my life one day. At least I'll get more attention than all those normie gays. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he could just wake up and not be a dude, but he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which men can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which man can be women. There's a global mission to turn peepees to giners. They'll do it to minors, they don't care. Lord, I got gigantic feet, but I cut off my beak. Both my butt cheeks are covered in hair. Still got an Adam's apple the size of a planet. My name used to be Craig, but I changed it to Janet. Got brainwashed by the internet, left holding the bag. I cut my penis off. I could have just been a fag. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to when a creature like me believes that it's true that he can just wake up and not be a dude, but he is. Oh, he is living as a new girl with a Y chromosome. You ask which man can be women, I'll tell you which can. The ones that trade their pole for a hole, and that hole really stinks, and it's covered in goo, and it smells like a combo of roadkill and poop. If I don't dilate it, it will heal shut and fill in. Tell me which man can be women. I've been smelling my hole. I got a sex change. Now I regret it. I should have just been fucking gay. Just been fucking gay.
no. There you go. How do we exit out of full screen here? Right. I had my little break there. Uh, I don't even know. I didn't see the chat or anything like that, so I'll just check in and see if we're still on air. I have no clue. Uh, no clue at all if we're still on air even. But Thanks, Jerry. Thank fuck he's gone. Brilliant. Yeah, yeah, that's just what we need to hear. Thank fuck he's gone for sure, Jerry. That was a mad tune, wasn't it? Fucking mad tune, that. Yeah, Black Daly, how you doing, girl? Yeah, they're shoving that crap down our throats, but we shouldn't take it too seriously. It's we should just recognize the psyop for what it is. A psyop is a psyop, after all, and there's certainly enough of them going around at the moment. Like, it's up to people to just to see it for what it is. Like, and a lot of it is designed to just keep you in that low point, because it's not really as bad as although, like, there's a lot of strange things going on. Maybe it is more prevalent than we fucking know, because there's a lot of, especially when it comes to hearing a lot about microplastics and stuff like that, like how it might be, like Alex Jones was saying, how a lot of these chemicals might be, they were turning frogs gay and shit like that. Who knows? There may well be some of this shit going on too. I don't know. Like, this. The guy that wrote the original song lives in 200 acres. I assume you're talking about that tune I just played, Kelly. It's a good tune, actually. I remember being blown away by it when I first seen it. I said, God, I have to play that to the crew just in case they hadn't heard it. Like, it's but anyway, there you go. That was one tune I wanted to play. Now, there's another video that I wanted to play as well too, because for a couple of different reasons. For a couple of different reasons. Now, this is going to be like one of Dr. Robert's quizzes, right? And let's see if I can get it up now. See, I'll orient myself here now and see. What did I do with this video here? Right. I don't think we got banned anyway for playing that tune, which is not too bad. Now, this is only a short clip, right? This is a very, very short clip for when it decides to load.
I haven't done one.
And it's concerning a dude called Tommy Robinson.
I haven't done one of these actor-based reality.
Yeah, it's about a dude called Tommy Robinson, right? Now, I want you to listen to, you're going to hear two people narrating here. I want you to pay attention to the first voice that you hear. And I'll check in on the chat in a few minutes and just get your thoughts on it as to who the first voice might be. I'll give you the name of the channel, right? Well, the name of the channel is called A Call to Action Ipswich, right? Now, I'm not going to suggest anything at all here. I'm just going to let it play. But the actual content is quite interesting as well too. That the content is quite interesting regarding Tommy Robinson as well too. So I was quite blown away when I seen this actual footage. So just maybe you have seen this before, but pay attention. Pay very, very close attention to the first person who is speaking that you hear speaking. You're going to hear two people speaking in this video. The guy who done the video is actually sort of like playing a video that was made by somebody else, I assume. So just pay close attention now to the two voices and tell me who you think the first voice might be.
I haven't done one of these actor-based reality videos in a while. Just flicking about on Twitter, I see Critical Thinker. I'll put a lot of his work on my channel. Has done one here of Tommy Robinson, and I'm now going to play it to you because I find it very interesting.
So this is one that I got told about by one of my followers under one of my other posts. Tommy Robinson, the anti-Islam activist, campaigner, and Imam Wasim Kempton. And I mean, honestly, there's not many times when I get told about these matches that make me do a double take or go, what the heck. But yeah, this was definitely one of them. Yeah, I know Tommy Robson's content. Yeah, was him Kempton. Never heard of him before, but kind of would make sense. Like, that is the sort of mockery and trolling that takes place when it comes to actor-based reality. On one hand, you've got like an anti-Islam campaigner. On the other hand, you've got an imam. So, you know, they love polarity. They love the polar opposites, and of course, they love a bit of mockery as well. This is one of those ones where I knew who one guy was but didn't know the other. So obviously when I looked up the pictures of the imam, I was pretty blown away actually by the resemblance. And I've got a voice clip coming up here now, and you'll see and hear actually it's a very good resemblance with the voice as well.
So in October 1994, that's when I accepted Islam, alhamdulillah. What led up to that? Well, it's a story that kind of goes for about a year.
Stood up in the town centre and I read out my leaflet and said to the police, we've had enough of the heroin, we've had enough of the violence, we've had enough of the terrorism. We've done a homecoming parade after 12 months to Luton. It cost them £2 million to police it. Yeah? I said, I can guarantee you, I know Theresa May sitting at the time as Home Secretary probably watching these live events. Okay, this is big.
I expect there might be some anger at this video because I know Tommy's supporters are very loyal and dedicated, and he's one of those Marmite characters. Again, you either love him or hate him. But as I say with all these videos, I'm not saying this is 100% true or 100% fact. Simply presenting the matchups and letting you decide and make your own minds up on it. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good matchup. And as I said, wouldn't surprise me.
So yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand with the Masonic duality, doesn't it? Yeah, pretty interesting, I thought. Take care.
Right. Okay. Were you paying attention? Were you paying attention to that voice, the first voice, and the voice that finished up there? I'm curious to hear who people think that might be. Very, very curious, because I have to rewind. Shit, I should have put this on pause for a second. Right, we're catching up now. Stephen Yaxley, Thomas and Rom. What did you think? Like, I thought that was a good likeness. The Sheikh and Tommy Robinson. Fucking hell, man. I was blown away by that. I was actually blown away by that. Like, I couldn't fucking believe what I was fucking seeing. Like, you know, it was like, wow, that's he is a dead ringer for that imam, right? Absolutely a dead ringer, right? So I don't see anybody else making the connection that I made, right? I was talking about who the first voice was, and I thought it might be Andy Young. Where was Andy from? Was he from Ipswich? I don't know. I swear to God, like when I first heard that, I had to listen to it about 5 or 6 times, right? And I thought I was listening to Andy Young. Did nobody else pick up on that? Apparently not. James is saying it's not Tommy. Yeah, I thought, like, when I was looking at that time, James, I thought there was some sort of a discrepancy in the nose. I thought there was a little bit of a discrepancy in the nose. Like, the nose of the Imam looks a little bit more sharper and pointed, and Tommy's is a little bit more like he got a few more boxes in the nose than the Imam did, right? It's like, that was just I just noticed at that time. So, but I'll tell you what, it was very, very close. It was very, very close. Okay, did he? Was he from Boston? Right. Okay. Boston. I didn't know there was a Boston in Lincolnshire, but then again, there's a load of places in America which are like there's a Dublin over in America. There's there's also a Russian named town. What's the or not Russian, but Dutch. There's a Dutch town in New York as well too. Can't remember the name of it either. But like when I first heard that, I definitely not Andy, right? Definitely not Andy. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Second time round, or this time round, that's what I was thinking, Denny. That no, it's just probably not Andy. It's close, but not close enough. Not close enough. Like, yeah, baby. Yeah, Tommy's definitely a big fan of Israel. In fact, there's a lot of there's a lot of anecdotal evidence out there that sort of like links him to Mossad and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's definitely conflicted. That Gosson, definitely conflicted, and it's strange that he hasn't been shot dead yet. You know, which should be a big sort of like warning sign. You know, like he never gets hurt or hospitalized, which you'd imagine he would. Like, you know, which sort of like makes me wonder about him sometimes. But anyway, look, we're at the end of the evening. That's the quiz over for tonight, and so what I'll do is I'll chuck the after show link in for anybody who wants to join. Have a quick natter with each other and stuff like that. Is most welcome. We should be getting back to normal here over the next couple of weeks, and let's see where we go from here. And a little shout out to Kendo as well too. I was so happy to hear that you were back out and home, Kendo. So much love to you. Get well soon, mate, and hopefully we'll see you back before too long. Like, you know, you've been away too long, and it'd be good to get the whole crew fucking back. Like, so. Anyway, so for now, I'm gonna love yous and leave yous. Take care. Have a good weekend. Have a good next week. I don't know what's happening with the weather-wise, but it doesn't fucking matter because it looks like the Indian summer is over. It looks like the Indian summer didn't actually fucking happen in the end at all. So listen, take care, everybody, and appreciate your company tonight. Fair play to you, and much love. And we will chat to you. Bright 77, I missed you. Missed you there, Bright 77. Thanks for joining in. Take care, all, and we'll chat to you probably next Saturday night.